Every app needs to navigate between pages, and Flutter does this using a Navigator widget. The basic principle of navigation in almost every framework is called a stack. And there's two specific concepts you need to know about stacks. So think of a stack as a stack of pages on top of each other where you only see the top page. And the two principles are push, when you push a new page on top of the stack so you can only see that top page, and pop when you pop it off of the stack and now you can see the page underneath. I want to walk through another visual just to make sure we're all on the same page. So you can imagine this is the device screen that you see, and this is what you currently see on the screen, and this is your navigation stack, and this is you looking down at the navigation stack. So let's say we want to push a new page on top of the navigation stack. We do a push command, push on top, you see this pink one is on top, and your screen is going to look like this. Now you only see the second screen, you don't see the thing on the bottom, but your navigation stack has two screens on top. Now let's say you do it one more time with the third screen, you'll see something like this. And the second concept is the pop concept. So when you pop something off, you remove it off of the very top of the stack. And all it does, it just removes that specific page. So in this case, we remove the third page, and you'll notice that when you do pop it, you will see that second screen again. Like we mentioned, the way this works in Flutter is using the Navigator widget. So this is a completely brand new project. We're going to create a new file called second screen. All you're going to see on this screen is an app bar with the word second screen on it. So now how do we navigate it? We're going to hijack this plus button here. And instead of incrementing a counter, we're going to create our own function. Now if you see GitHub Copilot actually gives us the right answer right away. So we're just going to bring that in. We're going to import this second screen and walk through what's happening here. Now if we try this, we'll see this actually should work. We go to the second screen when you click on this button. There's another way to write this that does the exact same thing. If you type out navigator.of.context.push, and we can copy this material page route into here, it will do the exact same thing as up there. Personally, I actually like this way better, so we'll go with this. Now what's actually happening here? So we're using the Navigator widget of this specific context. If you're not sure what context is, I recommend this article or video on hungrymind.com for what build context is. And then we're pushing a material page route onto this Navigator. So that navigation stack that we were talking about is actually a stack of route objects. These routes are the actual pathway to get to this specific screen. Now, why do you need a route? Because a route can have extra behaviors on it, for example, like animation. And specifically here, we're pushing a material page route. A material page route is a specific type of route that adheres to whatever platform you're on. So here we're on Mac OS, and you'll notice it does a little slide from the side. And that's a iOS or macOS specific animation. If we ran this on an Android device, it will make sure to do the animation for Android, which is a zoom and fade. So whenever we're navigating to this second screen, what we're seeing within our application is this specific situation. We have our home screen on the bottom of the stack, and we have our second screen at the top. So that's the only screen we see. When you add an app bar, this gives you an automatic back button, but you don't need to use that back button. And GitHub Copilot also comes through again. We're going to center a button in the middle, and we're going to do a navigator.pop context, and we're going to go backwards. So if we save that, you'll see this button comes in, and we can pop this screen off by clicking navigator.pop. And there we go. That's the simplest navigation that you can do within Flutter. Now, if you're coming from web development or you've used internet before, you're probably familiar or have been exposed to routes. So within a website, you have a route here. This route is the navigation route within our Flutter route. And in web development, you can assign names to this. And you can do the same thing in Flutter. But now, while you can do it, Flutter actually does not recommend you use named routes. There's some limitations when it comes to handling deep links and the forward button. But to actually implement named routes is very easy. So within your material app, you're going to need to define an initial route, which for us is going to be /. This is the default or the expected route for almost every website and every application. You can't technically customize it, but this is just the standard to just have it be a / for the initial route. And then we're going to define our two routes. So that initial route that we said is just a /. That's our home page. And then our second route is going to be /second. And that will lead us to our second screen. Now we're going to need to rerun this whole application because our main app has changed. Now to do name navigation is even easier than this. Let's comment out this line, and what we're going to do is navigator.of.context.pushNamed, and we're going to go to /second. So now if we click on this, it should do the exact same thing. And to go back with name navigation, you don't need to change anything. You just do the same pop method, because remember, the pop just takes whatever's at the top of the stack and removes it, whether it got there through a name navigation or whether it got through any other sort of navigation.